Moms and Master Books. Hope you're having a fantastic week. I am joined by two lovely ladies. I'm joined by my wife, Kristen, and my daughter, Brittany. And today we're going to do a couple fun things. We're going to talk about question and answer. Some people asked some questions, so Brittany's going to give us that. We're going to give a reveal on the new app. I'm really excited about that. And so I'm going to show that after we go through the questions and answers. We'll do a rapid fire Q&A and then show the app. All right. Ready, Britt?
Yep. Kasha asked for information about the upcoming sale on Monday.
Okay. So Monday, all day Monday, if you use coupon code Merry Christmas, all one word, doesn't matter if it's caps or small, Merry Christmas will give you an additional 20% off the order total. So if you do 3 or more sets and you get 30% off, you can use reward points. You can't use multiple coupons. You can only use one coupon. But if you use that coupon, Merry Christmas, at the end of it, before you place your order, it will take an additional 20% off your order total. And that is by far the lowest price you will get on Master Books Curriculum. We only do this one day a year. We do it really so that you can stock up on books for Christmas presents, but I know a lot of families take advantage of it for our curriculum for the coming year and that type of thing. So the shipping is the same, but if you order over $75 in the contiguous US, you're going to get free shipping. And so a lot of you that will order curriculum plus some Christmas gifts, you're going to be able to get free shipping as well. I know I lost what I knew. So just move.
Awesome. Okay. Well,
okay, next.
Moving on. Joe and Shell Potter asked, are the 2020 Master Book catalogs coming out now?
Nope. 2020 Master Books catalogs will be out probably the beginning of February. We're in the stages of designing and still completing what's going to be available for the spring of 2020. This year, we're going to do things a little different. We're actually going to have 2 catalogs this year. We're going to have a spring catalog and a summer catalog. And only titles that are actually going to be available in the spring will be in this catalog. And then the titles that will be available come summer will be in the next catalog. So expect that. You'll probably see the digital copies in January.
Awesome. The Potters also asked, when will the U.S. passport book be ready?
That will be a summer project. So it probably won't even be in this upcoming catalog because it won't be in print.
Yeah, it's way too soon to even give an idea of when that's going to be.
Okay.
I would say summer would be about as
early.
Yeah, I mean, it's just still, it's written, I think.
Yep, it is. I think they're working on some.
Yes, it's just starting in the process, and I'm at the very front end of the process, and I have not seen it yet.
Okay, so summer, I would say summer, fall on that book.
Right.
Okay.
Natalie asked, do you all do this 20% off sale every year?
Well, this is our second annual time. I'm not going to say we do it every year, but this is the second time we've done it. And it's only one day a year. We discipline ourselves. We offer very low prices. So it's 20% on individual books, 26% on sets, 30% on creative bundles or the full grade set. And we don't offer additional sales and things like that. So this is the one time of the year that you're ever going to see this kind of sale site-wide.
Heather Ash said, I thought I heard that language lessons level 1 will use the same 3 books as beginner language skills. Is this true? I'm wanting to buy the books now while I'm making a shipped order.
Yes, it is true. It uses the same books as basic language skills.
Jackie asked, best electives for high school to complement World Story 2.
For high school to complement World Story 2?
Mm-hmm.
Which one is that? I'm sorry. World Story 2 is
Angela's.
Okay, that would be middle school.
Mm-hmm.
So for high school, to use it as a high school course, would that be what we're asking?
It says best electives for high school to complement World Story 2. Is it the Stovaz World?
Well, we have Stovaz World History.
She's using it in high school. The best thing for her to do is to go to the author's website.
She has some supplements.
The author has. We don't officially have it because it was written for elementary students. So if it's outside of that scope,
Yeah.
It's something that many of us do. I've actually done it. But as a company, it's not something that we give a lot of support to. I don't mean support as in supporting people doing it, as in giving the extra
We don't
stuff.
have an official response to it, but Angela does have.
But Angela Odell does, the author. So what I would do is go to her website and pick her brain.
Yep.
Awesome. Carrie Bear asks, I bought Life Before Birth and Big Book of Animals to go along with God's Design for Life and plan to get the work of your hand. Do you have a suggestion for the plant portion of the course? I have the plant coloring book.
I'm trying to think of what's in do we have any in the Wonders series? We do have the ecology book.
Would be a good one to go along with that.
Yeah.
Probably the ecology would be one. That's a strong book. So I would recommend with the Wonders of Creation series, the ecology book.
Depending on what grade level you're doing, I would stick with the lower, because that one's leveled, I believe.
Yeah, and that one's a little bit more comprehensive.
Right.
That's a really good book, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Carolina asks, when will the new language lessons for Living Education 1 be out?
We're still projecting spring, I think, or winter.
I think we're trying to get it. We're trying to get it before the convention season.
Yes, I have it on my desk right now to as one of the review steps. It's gone through the initial reviews, but I have to go through and do an initial review and talk. It's kind of a little different because I'm acting as both the author and as the editor. So some of the things are a little combined. So I have to do my author's response and also my editor's review. So it's in the first stages of getting reviewed. It's written. We have a couple of projects that are ahead of it. And then it's a priority for convention season. So it's going to get plugged in pretty quickly.
Okay.
So we don't have a really good idea right now as far as actual dates. But it is a priority project that we want available by conventions. But again, you do your best to estimate with these things, but you can't always account for things that are going to come up, either on our end, the printer's end, that sort of thing. So we are working on it. It is a priority, and it's on schedule.
Yeah, the goal is by March or late February, early March is what we're targeting with that.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Lisa asks, any more info or release dates on the new pre-K curriculum I heard about, Stepping Stones?
That's actually one of them that is hitting the designers just before Language Lessons 1. And so as of today, that doesn't mean that things aren't going to change, but as of right now, they're wrapping up Language Lesson 6 right now, then they're rolling into Stepping Stones, and then Language Lessons 1, at least with the one designer. We have more designers working on other things. But that's the information that I was given in my meeting this morning.
Okay.
It's always subject to change, though. So yeah, Stepping Stones is rolling right along, and I gotta say, it's awesome. It's beautiful. It's really turning out nice.
I think every project we do, we get better each time. And then we've also implemented a new process, which is slowing it down a little bit, but it's also working to make it a better product
right
off the press the first time.
And we're already seeing the benefits of it.
Yeah.
Laura and I talked this morning, and we're really encouraged by the higher level at this point of a product that we're getting out.
Good.
Yeah. So it's exciting to see. It really is.
Julie asks, is there any supplements you would suggest for Applied Engineering and Intro to Anatomy 1? Jola responded, I really like the look of If Animals Could Talk by Warner Gitt. That looks like it might fit well alongside Applied Engineering. Do you have any other suggestions?
Yeah, maybe. I haven't looked at that book in a while. I'd have to look at it again.
Supplements you would suggest to go alongside Applied Engineering and Intro to Anatomy.
Some of Tyner's stuff, like the history of mathematics, and some of those might be interesting with the applied engineering.
Mm-hmm.
The chemistry book, even by Tyner, I would look at the exploring series for that, because I think that they're not overwhelming, but there's just some really good information that would go good with that. With the zoology, we've included a lot. There's a lot of bang for the buck in that book. And I don't think you're going to need much more. I mean, that's a pretty solid, heavy course.
Yeah, it's got a lot to it already.
All right. Is next Monday's sale also on ebooks or just physical books?
Site-wide, ebooks, clearance items. Now the clearance items aren't typically as low as they are this week. So they'll go back to the normal clearance pricing next week, but it'll be everything site-wide.
Does Principles of Math 1 and 2 follow behind math lessons, or is there math that needs to be taken in between?
It does follow behind, and Math Lessons for Living Education 6 was written to transition a student from Math Lessons for Living Education into Principles of Mathematics, but we do recommend also still taking the placement test and just making sure that the student has all the foundational skills needed to move into that level. Something that we're excited about is Angela and the team here have been working on Practice Makes Perfect packs for Math Lessons for Living Education. So by the end of the year, there will actually be a supplemental package. Like some of you have said, my kid needs more practice, or I like more busy work. And so in that case, you'll be able to purchase a package of additional worksheets for each lesson. And what that'll work really well is if you find a student needs some extra help with something, you could use the Practice Makes Perfect pages to cover learning gaps and stuff like that.
By the end of 2020, not this year.
Right. Yeah, I'm already.
By the end of the year.
Marketing
like now
wise,
you're going to get everybody going to the website and asking us, is it out yet? Is it out yet?
No, marketing
the first
wise,
level
this year is done.
Yeah, the first level is being worked on right now.
Yeah, I'm in 2020. I'm living into the future. I'm there.
Yeah. Just wanted to clarify that for the
Good
moms.
catch. Good catch.
Yep.
All right. Tiffany asks, with the new levels of language lessons, how do you see the transition to writing strands working?
You're the expert.
Say that again.
With the new levels of language lessons, how do you see the transition to writing strands working?
Well, the difficulty with going from language lessons to writing strands is people are picking different spots to make that transition, because both language lessons and writing strands both of them were designed to be used with varying ages and abilities of students. And so you're not going to see them married up precisely. So how you need to treat that is two completely different programs. I have tried to include some of the components so that a student could go from language lessons into writing strands successfully, but it's kind of a moving target because, like I said, people are making that transition at different points. So I would go ahead and take the placement tests for writing strands when going from language lessons into writing strands. And another thing about doing that is that kids are all unique individuals. And so you may uncover some weak areas that you want to shore up by doing that. So even if, all things considered, you have, the same grade student with the same experience with language lessons going into the same level of writing strands, individual students may perform differently on a placement test.
Right.
And so you just want to keep all of that in mind when you're getting ready to make that transition, but definitely use those placement tests. I recommend just treating it like from one curriculum to another, because really it is. They're two very different curriculums. They have similar goals, but they're very different in approach.
You were aware of it being the next level when you wrote
Yes.
6, but you still always
Right. They're
still take the
compatible.
test.
And the nice thing with the language lessons is they're getting a good foundation in their grammar and all their basic introductory writing skills. And so it should prepare them for what they're going to be doing in writing strands.
Right. Okay.
Okay, Joshana asked, she said, follow-up question. Please, can we get more language lessons for living education? I know you're busy, Kristen, but I still have to beg for more of those. We tried Roadster at the beginning of this year for 5th grade, and it wasn't a good fit for us. Well,
I appreciate that. I have not been able to think about that yet. If such a thing happens, it's not going to be right away. It's going to take me longer to do a 7th and an 8th grade. We're talking putting out maybe one a year instead of the breakneck speed that I have
In the last,
gotten to, like, my family, you know, I mean, I'm gone a lot right now with treatments and all of that. So right now my life consists of keeping up with the work that I've got to do to get the projects going here. As an editor, that's my primary job. So right now my life consists of that, homeschooling my own children and going to treatments, and there just isn't room for anything beyond that right now. Once we get past this treatment stage, that's when we would consider. But then from that point forward, it's going to take about a year before anything is actually in somebody's hands if I choose to pick that up.
we love y'all, but we also love our mom and wife. And for 2 years, we haven't seen a lot of her because she's been writing nonstop. So yeah, we're all supporting her in taking a break, especially because Writing Strands, and we don't have like an official release or anything like that, but every time Writing Strands goes to reprint, there's just been a lot of great improvements made to that.
Mm-hmm.
And even this last year, I think some of the levels that are done, Becky Dudley went through and just really improved
She did
some
a
of the
fantastic
points.
job, yes.
So Writing Strands is getting more solid all the time. And
because we're still as a company filling some holes, those get the priority. If we have a solution in place, it's not that we are against multiple solutions, because we are an eclectic company. We love offering multiple solutions. So that's not an issue. But because of the circumstances in my life personally, and because we actually have Writing Strands as a solution, it's not going to be a huge push.
yes,
We have other holes that we need to fill before that.
Lori asked, can the 20% off on Monday also be applied to scratch and dent items?
Yes.
How about the ebooks and
Yeah.
ebooks? I don't know what AIC stands for.
Adventures in Creation.
Do we have an idea of when Adventures in Creation 2 will be out? We are loving this curriculum and would like to do number 2 for next year.
It is in-house. The manuscript is in-house?
No,
No.
it's being written.
It's supposed to be in-house
It's
soon.
supposed to be in-house soon. Yeah, in a month or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's already a template for that, so that should, by all indications.
It's typically a pretty clean manuscript, and that is going into the spring catalog, meaning we anticipate it to be available in the spring of 2020.
Yeah, ideally before conventions start, but it might miss a convention or two. We're not certain on that. That's one of those we're just not sure how the flow is going to be, especially with our new processes. We're still getting a feel for things, but that's what we're aiming for.
Ashley asked, why do different things have different shipping rates? For instance, I had one thing in my cart, shipping was $6 and something best way, swapped it for something else, and it went to $10.55 best way. May I ask why?
We use weight-based shipping. So when it goes on the scale, it looks and says to the carriers, what is the shipping rate for something that weighs this much? And so it may change based on weight. We also ship USPS priority mail or FedEx. And so different locations, different weights, different not nationalities, but different regions are going to show different pricing just because it can fluctuate so much from region to another.
I need 10th grade curriculum, but he also needs extra help with writing. What are your suggestions?
I think Writing Strands is fantastic. And Writing Strands is not a grade-based system. It's a skill-based system. So take them back to beginner and let them work through beginner at an accelerated rate. Let them build confidence with writing and develop
or take the
that.
placement test and know exactly where to put them.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do that. And you can always add in some Jensens if you need some extra practice in some of those specific areas. You don't necessarily have to do a whole Jensens in a year, but you could target a couple of areas and have them work on it a couple times a week.
And I know some people have actually gone into language lessons for a living education, even with older kids, the upper levels, because they're going to learn a lot of foundational things and gain writing and confidence. So,
and I have purposely not gone beyond. I've purposely not gone into writing a lot of essays and a lot of reports. They are doing some of that in level 6. but I've taken a more gentle approach, because what I have found with my own children and what I've found with talking with thousands and thousands of homeschoolers over the years of homeschooling and the different roles that we've played is that a lot of kids really struggle to get that paragraph. And so really working on writing a solid paragraph with a related paragraph or two on the same subject is really a pretty big hurdle for kids to learn to write effectively. And so by taking them back to, say, level 6, you're going to give them that foundation of writing in, writing those basic paragraphs and related paragraphs without the pressure of having to do this great big huge report. And a lot of kids go into high school still not able to write a cohesive paragraph. And it's just so important, because if you don't have a good paragraph structure, you cannot begin to write upper level essays. And so it's really crucial that they meet that foundational milestone before beginning to write essays, because they may have all the knowledge in the world of the subject matter that they're writing an essay about, but if they can't express that in a very logical way, they're going to fail the course, or at least fail in their attempts to do an essay.
Right.
And so that's why I have taken a gentler approach on essay writing. I haven't gone in full bore through 6. Now, if I were to write a language lessons 7 and 8, I would focus a little bit more on the essay process. But through grade 6, we're still really targeting well-written paragraphs. And then like I said, in level 6, related paragraphs, not necessarily, full-blown essays.
Right.
Jamie Ashton asks, how is Kristen and how can we pray for your family?
That's why I invited Kristen today. She was walking through the halls and I'm like,
well, first of all, I'm getting over a cold. And, praise God, this is the only cold that I have had since I was diagnosed. I had a stomach bug after we got back from the Grand Canyon that my grandkids had picked up and shared with the household. And these are the only 2 illnesses that I've had this entire time. So God's been very good with that. We got some good news just before Thanksgiving, and my surgeon called. I'm scheduled for a mastectomy on a week from tomorrow. I'm scheduled for that. And he called me, and originally when we went to see the surgeon and all of that, the plan was to do a lumpectomy. And then, so I went through that. He did that. The initial pathology report came back and they said, hey, the margins weren't as clear as what we had hoped. There was some cancer that showed up in a lymph node, because he took 2 lymph nodes. One was clean. The other one showed positive for cancer. So they said it's an invasive cancer. So we're going to need to go back in and do a mastectomy. So went to the oncologist, and she said, hey, because it's changed, because of the pathology report, it's in a lymph node, all of this. She said there's a treatment that's been this past year that's been approved for use in your situation. We started using it for stage 4 patients. I'm stage 2B, I think, based on that pathology report. So she said, it's been approved, so we would like to start you on that. We had a piece about that. So it's basically the Herceptin mixed with a chemo. And so I had been on the Herceptin. That's been something that I've had to do every 3 weeks. That was planned through the end of April. I'll be on that. So anyway, we felt a piece about it. So I've been on that every 3 weeks. It has more side effects than just the Herceptin, but this last time I tolerated it pretty well. So we did that, and I got this phone call, and he said, we're getting in more details on your pathology report, and it's good news. And he said, we may be able to give you what you want and not have to do the mastectomy.
Kind of weird to think people are still digging through your body tissue
Yes.
7 weeks after your lumpectomy.
Yes. And so what they said was that the lymph node, they got positive results in the initial pathology, but there was no description of that, of what that was. And he said that the positive that they got was at a micro level, that it's such a small amount that they don't really consider it to be now an invasive cancer, and that they don't even go in and remove more lymph nodes for that level of what they saw. And he's also said that there was clear margins around it. It wasn't a huge margin, but there was clear margin. And those two things have changed the outlook. Now, we are still, before we can make a solid decision, we still have to get in the actual written final pathology report. We are expecting that in sometime this week. The surgeon wants to have that discussion with us. Tomorrow I go in for another infusion. I don't know at this point whether we'll stay with the Kadcyla or we'll go back to the regular Herceptin. We're praying for wisdom on that. But we'll be talking with the oncologist as well about all these new things, because the two of them have been discussing with the pathologist everything that they're actually finding with this new information. So
just a quick recap. Y'all have been praying, and I know your kids have taken it. We've been like so moved by this community support. And to have a surgery scheduled where they're going to do an amputation, and then to have the surgeon actually call and say, I don't know if that's going to be necessary. It's just been such a miracle for us, because it's been incredible. And so we went into Thanksgiving very thankful. And we pray the Lord continues to give us wisdom and favor with the medical staff and give us insights, because anybody who's gone through cancer knows there's 1,000 ways to get to the other side. The hope is you made the right choice when you do it. But thank you for your prayers, because when we went into this, I said, I believe that it was almost like the moment where Elijah had built the altar and said, okay, God, reveal yourself. And we've seen it. Mm-hmm. And I knew
it's so many details that we don't have time for to even.
Yeah, and I knew that this would serve us. And I really believe that it is. And I just, to encourage families that if you're praying and your kids have been praying, to let them know that God is hearing them. And we appreciate it.
Yeah, and one last thing that the doctor also said is, he said, regardless of whether you go in for a mastectomy or not, this is really good news for you.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were pretty concerned.
Yeah.
And so to have that change has really been good.
Pretty amazing.
I've said Kristen's like a rock star in this. So if I have to ever go through anything now, she set the bar so high that I'm probably just going to have to, I don't even know. Yeah. So, okay.
Hannah said, hello, what words are hard. Hello, what options are available for second grade social studies? Currently using My Story, and my son is bored with it. Just looking for options currently available and or coming available. Thank you so much for these videos. They are so encouraging and helpful, and one of my favorite things about Master Books.
I say go into America's Story 1 if the student is ready.
Yeah.
If he's bored with My Story, I think My Story opens a lot of opportunities for some additional stuff. Mm-hmm. But America's Story 1 is, you could begin that process. You could also add something like Biographies of the Revolution and just do it as a read aloud to supplement something like that.
Yeah. And Craig is also working on the United States passport and atlas.
Yeah.
And we do hope to have a curriculum that goes along with that as well, but that's a down the road thing.
Yep.
Awesome. Is physics coming spring 2020?
It'll summer or fall. It's not going to be available in spring. But we have the manuscript and the author, we're working back and forth with it, but it's not in design yet, so it won't make the spring catalog.
Is the Math Companion still releasing this month, and will there be a preview soon?
Yes, that's in the final stages of review, and as soon as that's done, that'll be going out. Yeah, we'll do a preview of it.
Yeah, that's on my desk right now.
The finals.
The teaching companion?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Jamie.
at home right now.
Jamie asked, do the Stovall literature courses have the Master Books schedule in the teacher's guide, and does the guide schedule when to read the book? The teacher guide sample on the website didn't show either of these, and then will Master Books be releasing any additional literature courses?
It doesn't have the schedule in it. That course, we're just, this year we're updating the American history and the world history. We combined British history into it. We've added Henry Morris's So Noted. I'll be talking about that more in the future. The literature, I'm sure, will be a future project, but it's not slated for this year. One resource that I could recommend for families, the Christian Reading Companion for 50 Classics. I know sometimes people want to know, like with writing strands and things like that, what is a project that they could have. This would be a pretty affordable pickup that they could add a literature program to, some supplements for with some of the classics. Do you have any other suggestions?
Okay. Nope.
Mallory asked, how do you incorporate Morning Basket into your day? Do you switch out books every month? Do kids get bored with the same books every day?
There's actually a lesson plan in the files. Anna did a lesson plan on how to incorporate the Morning Basket. So if you look in the files, you'll find that, and it kind of give you a this day schedule that you could do with it.
Awesome. Last question. Mallory asked, when does the second book after Adventures in Creation comes out, which you already answered? She said debating and waiting for that to come out, or what's the difference between the God's Design for Life and the one for beginners?
God's Design for Life, the one for beginners is meant for K first and second students. It's definitely simpler. So if you have a second grade student, I would recommend that for beginners.
She said I have a second grader working at third grade level, so she seems in between.
You can try it. The God's Design Life is a pretty substantial course because that course is meant for multiple grades. So even though there's different tracks that you do for the other ages, people who go into it too early tend to get a little frustrated. So I think God's Design for Life is a great course to become familiar with that, and then transition into the more advanced course would probably be my recommendation.
If you get into the beginner's version of life and you feel like you need more, an option is to get the student book, and you could pull out from there additional readings and things like that.
Yes. Okay, that's the end of the questions?
Yep.
Okay, so again, flash, or not, I don't want to say flash.
Words are hard.
Words are hard. Mega sale, 20% off the website next Monday. Use coupon code Merry Christmas. It'll be all day. There's no hurry. You don't have to set your alarm clock to wake up. When you get up, you're still in your pajamas, you sit down, place your order, comes up, add coupon code Merry Christmas. It'll take 20% off. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Merry Christmas, all caps, no spaces.
No, it doesn't matter. if
Doesn't
it's caps
matter.
or
Oh, it
not.
doesn't?
No,
No.
just Merry Christmas, no spaces.
But we did put it all caps in the ads. So.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me talk about something that I am extremely excited about. Love Facebook. It's been a great place for us to connect with. This group is actually so popular that Facebook invited us to participate in a special community of leaders of groups like this, because you guys make this such an engaging place to be. You've made me look brilliant. So it's not easy. So but there's some catches. Facebook is changing the way they're doing some things, and occasionally groups have been shut down. And even in the group that I'm in by Facebook, there are groups of like 50, 60,000 people that just get turned off. So as we've seen that, we've also had a number of people say, we're trying to not be on social media all the time. And I wish there was a way that we could participate, but we don't really want to be on Instagram or Facebook or one of those. So we started researching apps, and we found a company that has created an app that can handle amazing things. And so we started working with them, and we have this app that is incredible. And it's not, you can't view it on a web browser. It's only going to be available like on, your tablet or your phone. But the power of it, and I'm so excited because I really think as we launch it, first we've got to get people into it and using it and make sure that we work out all the friction points. But then we're going to be able to add additional groups. So within it, and I'll show you this, but within it, we'll be able to have a high school group and a junior high group and targeted groups towards families, as well as, like, we may even be able to have a Master Book Kids Connect, where kids can actually connect with each other through the groups and have moderation. So I'm really excited about it. Let's see, I'm going to show you. Now, this picture of this place that's on my phone is actually called Top of the Rock. It's our go-to place. When we want somebody to move to the Ozarks, we take them to dinner there.
Because that's what Tim did with us.
And it worked. And I've taken 2 of my kids there, and they've moved here.
Yeah, that's the problem. We haven't taken.
I know, he was
the ones
begging.
in New York.
He was
yes,
begging.
we tried to make it work this time, but it didn't.
So up here, you can see that little icon. There's an MB, and there's actually a notification. So if you set it to receive notifications, it's awesome. When this comes up, let's see. Okay. When it comes up, it takes you into the main community feed. It's almost like the Moms of Master Books main feed, where you're able to post pictures. You're able to comment. You're able to like things. And you're able to share things. And what I love about the sharing is when you click share, you actually can do messages, notes. You can do Facebook. You can do an Outlook. Any of your apps you can share it to. So it's not like where Facebook, if you click share, it only shares it in Facebook. This actually shares it
however you want.
However you want to, yeah. So I love that people could share this. You could text it to somebody, email it to somebody. Post it to Facebook. It really gives you a lot of capabilities that way. It's, I would say, a little bit more Instagram-y, Britt, in the layout of it, where you can go very quickly through posts. So there's a main post. Now, if I want to create a post, down at the very bottom, you just click create a post, and it brings up your picture. You can add images to it. You can add GIFs, whatever your preference is. It's GIF to us. It's a GIF to you. It's GIF.
No.
GIF.
No.
GIF reads GIF.
No.
But what about giraffe?
Exactly.
Giraffe isn't spelled GIF.
Yes, it is. No, GIR.
Yeah, well, when I is followed by R, it sounds like I.
Phonics according to Randy. This is why I wouldn't let him teach
I helped
kids.
teach one kid, but she has an accent.
Yeah, because he said all the phonics sounds wrong. All the vowels, he sounded wrong. Yeah.
Okay, so there's a main community feed. Now up in the upper corner, you can actually search posts, and in the main community, it comes to community or groups, and actually, this is where we have an official group. Oh, there's a new post in the official. And so when I click on it, I see, it's the one-day sale, December 9th, save an additional 20%, coupon code Merry Christmas. Wow. It's amazing that would come up today. Okay.
That was not planned by marketing at all, was it?
Now I can actually, I can send that to somebody in a text message. Isn't that awesome? Like, that's what I love about this thing. The functionality, I think, is really going to help us serve the community better.
Oh, that add to reading list.
That's neat. So it comes up. So the official is only announcements by Master Books. So that's pretty cool. Now, eventually, as we get bigger, this is set up so we can add more groups. And we even have the capability within this to do some premium things where we could do some tutoring and different stuff if we ever got to that point down the road. Okay, live stream is something that if I wanted to start a live stream through the app, we could actually go live like we are today, and people, it's almost like a chat box underneath it, kind of like the Facebook Live. And we will do some exclusive lives in the app. Probably the Q&As and things like that will be in the app, where there'll be a time each week that if you have questions, just go to the live stream and connect with us. And you've done stuff. Instagrammers tend to do a lot of that type of thing. So it has a live stream. The videos is awesome. We're able to create playlists. So like we have the math playlist, the language playlist, the teaching tips playlist. And when you click on any of these, it'll take you right into the playlist. It's all organized in our YouTube channel for each of these. And so it gives you immediate access to the videos right within the app.
Wow, that's nice.
Digital goodies are things like, isn't that a nice logo? Brittany did that logo for me. I love that. She did a really good job. Principles of math placement tests, writing strands placement tests. So we'll be able to add kind of the digital goodies into this that people use the most. And this is going to continue to get more robust. Friends and messaging, believe it or not, this has the capability of setting up where you can do friends and you can message friends within this app. Something that's very handy, where are you? Well, I'm not going to let you know right now, okay, so we have all of the events. So Monday, December 9th, it's a Merry Christmas sale. Use coupon code Merry Christmas, get an additional 20% off the website. It's amazing how this works. You weren't looking
to say that again, were you?
But if I click on the link, it actually take me right to, it'll open the browser right there and allow me to see it right there. Pretty amazing. Okay, now you gotta close it. There we go. Nope.
See me here, see me there.
Wow. Okay, so I'm having a technical difficulty. Okay. The Nashville Teach Them Diligently. That's something that Kristen and I are hoping to go to on Thursday, the 27th at the Gaylord. And
that's fancy, fancy.
That is a fancy hotel.
Twice.
It's beautiful, and we love going to that convention.
And wait, if I click more information, I'm going to bring that window back up and have all the information on how to register and everything. Isn't that handy?
That is handy.
I'm telling you.
That's pretty awesome.
The more I use this app, the more I'm so excited about it. Store. Oh my goodness. You go right into the store. There it is. Shop by grade. Here's the entire Master Books store within the app. Language lessons for living education 6. It's probably not available yet, but it will be coming January 2020.
Yeah.
So you can access the entire thing. Now, I talked to them this morning. There's a little place that we need to make an improvement. In the bottom side, in the dark, is the navigation. And so there's little arrows on here that go back and forth. In the app, you don't really see it. They're going to make it a little easier. Some of the moderators who were in here were like, they couldn't see how to go backwards on the website. It's down here. So that makes it real easy to navigate the site. Again, if you click, you can share the site. Copy to clipboard, anything like that. So that's awesome. The contact us. If you need to contact us, we have the frequently asked questions, contact customer service, earn reward points, all of this. And the contact form is actually built right into the app. So I think that that's awesome. And then up here this is a hack. I'm going to give you a hack for the system. There's a little bell. If you click on the bell, it gives you all of we've got people already joining. But it gives me all of the activity. Somebody liked my post in the community. If I click on that, it takes me right to the community. Look at that picture.
I had hair then.
Dude, she's got hair.
I do.
It's kind of poking out. There's a little bit poking out.
But I get too cold to go without a hat.
I've gotten grayer and fatter since then. So.
But you have hair.
I do have
I've
hair.
gotten grayer too because the chemo made me half gray.
Well, we're equally matched.
Yeah. I didn't used to have any
Do you
hardly
have gray?
any gray.
Yeah.
I didn't have hardly any gray. Now I have a lot. Thank you, chemo.
So actually, this was a Teach Them Diligently conference that we did last year.
On the drive there is when we actually got the diagnosis. We actually took the call while we were driving there.
That you had cancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was a God thing. We ended up listening to a podcast or a book, an audiobook, and it was so faith building. God had the timing perfect, and I didn't mind having the distraction right then.
Right.
So I could just kind of process it a little at a time instead of just spending the whole weekend
Waiting.
Yeah.
So that's the app, and I think it's awesome. That's funny.
Somehow Tom Hanks infiltrated the group and is saying hi to everyone. Libby shared that. That's funny. That's awesome.
The app is available in iTunes and Google Apps. I don't know with Google yet if it's indexed all the way, but there's a link in the description of this where you can click on it and download it. It is rated for 17 and over. So sometimes, like on mine, I often have my apps set so that it won't allow anything over 12. And I had to change that in order to download the app.
So you can download it and then put reset your.
Does it let you go?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's just for the search within the app stores.
The reason that is, and I spoke to them, the reason is because we allow outside links. And so it's like Twitter. If it allows an outside link, it has to be over 17 because the browsers will trace it out. So so that's there. But the two links are there. Can we encourage you to check out the app and do give us a comment. Let us know you're there. Browse around a little bit. We'd love feedback on the app and just know what you think. I think they're going to see a lot of exclusive offers in the app. It's funny to have Tom Hanks back there waiting.
It really is. I didn't know he supported Master Books so enthusiastically. Fun fact, you didn't know about Tom Hanks.
Mr. Rogers now, I guess he's Mr. Rogers, but.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. His early ages.
Well, right there, he's what's his name?
So,
Forrest Gump.
yeah. So please download the app. Let us know what you think. And there's going to be special deals, special podcasts, things that you won't get in this group. And then if you turn on notifications, turn the sound off or whatever, but it'll actually show you every time we do something new into the app. So, okay, guys. Well.
Laura and Diane are heading out.
We have people standing outside
the window.
Our window at the Master Books Studios. There's people.
They're looking at us, so we're going to wave at them.
Live before studio audience. Okay.
We got everybody's waving. Tom Hanks, they think Tom's waving at them.
That's funny. Well, thank you for joining me, and I appreciate it. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate it. Brett don't like being left out. She's a middle child, and if she gets left out, she's a little sensitive about it.
I did not ask to come in.
He makes things up all the time.
All right. Well, hey, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully your family is able to take advantage of the Merry Christmas sale on Monday, December 9th, all day long. Use coupon code Merry Christmas, all one word. And that's the last time. I saved the best for last.
Okay.
So, all right, guys. Thank you. God bless.
I know. We just feel like you got to join Tom Hanks.
We'll talk to you Thursday at Teaching Tips.